This is the third of 3 videos dealing with clipping masks in alpha channels. This one is going to deal with an alpha channel. Now, an alpha channel is a little bit more complex than a clipping mask. In Photoshop, when you have a clipping mask, it's basically telling the program to ignore anything that's outside the vector area. Whereas an alpha channel does something similar, it also has degrees of transparency. So you can make things 50% visible or 20% visible, or you get the idea. Really all an alpha channel is a saved selection, but that selection again can have degrees of transparency. So what I'm going to try and do is show a little bit of that. First off, what I want to do is I want to create a selection. So I'm going to use with this one, let's see, I think I'll try the elliptical marquee tool here to try and make an elliptical selection around the pool ball. It's close, it's a little bit off. And I want to save that selection. So I'm going to go underneath Select, Save Selection. And I'm going to give it a name. We're going to call it Pool Ball. Pool Ball. Okay. And what you're going to see is you're going to see that that channel is saved in the Channels menu. So the channels have your color plates. It has, if I shut everything off here, you'll be able to see. You have a red plate, a green plate, and a blue plate channel, and these are all 8-bit. And then you have this one. And this one is just the selection. You see what it shows is that anything that's selected is white and anything that's not selected is black. Anything that's somewhere in between is some degree of selection. So I'm going to shut off everything, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually modify the alpha channel. But the way I'm going to do that is I want to make this shadow area, I'm going to do a selection of that, and I want to make it maybe 50% of the selection. So I'm going to go around here. You see the image isn't quite, it doesn't continue, so we have it kind of cut off on the left there, and that's okay. Okay, and I'm going to go to that alpha channel, that pool ball channel, and what I want to do is I want to fill it with maybe a 50% gray to indicate 50% selection. So I'll do that right here. Just do 0, 0, 0, 50%. Okay, and then I'm going to fill that. I'm going to hit the fill keys on my keyboard, and Option Delete is sort of the shortcut for that. And I can then sort of go back here and touch up a little bit with the gray any areas that are in between there that aren't selected. So I'll try and do that here. It's a little sloppy. I need to make it 100% opacity. Here we go. It's a little bit sloppy here, but that's okay. You're going to get the idea from this. So I've got this channel that's saved with it, and I'm going to save this file, File, Save As. And this time I want to save it as a PSD, or a Photoshop file. Okay, the Photoshop file format allows you to save a lot more data. And by data and details, I mean information like multiple channels, clipping masks, layers, all that stuff is preserved when you save it in the PSD or the Photoshop file format. So I'm going to click Save, and we're going to go to InDesign, and we're going to place that item, and you see I have the amateur PSD instead, so I'm going to check that I have the import option set already. I'm going to click Open, and you can see here for image it says Show Preview, and alpha channel. We can say which alpha channel we want to pick. So the pool ball alpha channel is the one that I want to pick, and I can see a preview that it's 50%, sort of the green felt of the pool table, and then the pool ball there. So I'm going to click OK. It's going to load my cursor up. Now if I just click with the cursor, remember, it'll place it in its original size. If I click and drag, I can control to a certain degree the size it is. So I'm going to click and drag here, and you see the pool ball placed. So that quite simply is how you create an alpha channel, and how you would save it, and then how you would import it into InDesign so that you have a mask